Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers, and welcome back to Muse and Measure, where we tackle life's spiritual and existential dilemmas through the craft of songwriting. If you're looking to deepen your songwriting practice or connect it to a spiritual one, click the little guy on the lotus below and subscribe. All right, so today, this is episode 2B, to be or not to be, of Finding the Spark. So how do we get the ideas to then develop into songs? Okay? And in the last episode, I talked about always having some way of capturing ideas, whether it's a notebook that you write in or on your cell phone, you can record voice memos, and just always being attuned to the possibility of song ideas coming at you. And once you start this process, all of a sudden you're going to hear stuff all the time. You're going to have constant flow of ideas. The key is to not be critical and not be editorial when the ideas come up. Just get them all down, because who are you to judge in that instant what's going to bear fruit? So just capture them. Okay. So I talked about overhearing conversations. So this could be people talking on the street, on your commute, your family members, your friends. You can even be part of the conversation, but maybe you say something or they say something and you're like, all of a sudden a little light bulb goes off that, oh, that would be an interesting song title or an interesting line in a song. So you want to capture that. Or you're watching a movie, you hear a dialogue there and you're like, oh, that line would be a great title for a song. Okay, so it's all about capturing those little bits of overheard conversation. I talked about dreams. I highly recommend that you keep a dream journal of some kind. Either you wake up in the morning and you write down what you remember of your dreams, or you keep just an audio one on your phone. That's what I do. I have little voice memos. When I wake up from a dream and I remember it, I record myself describing what happened in the dream. This is an interesting practice because it really connects you to your subconscious world. And it often generates great ideas for creative work, but also it's just an interesting insight into yourself and what's going on in your mind. What are you fixating on when you're asleep? What issues is your brain dealing with, trying to find solutions for? And it's a great insight to like, oh, well, why am I in the state of mind I am today? If you wake up in a kind of bad mood, well, maybe it was something that happened in the dream world. And then, of course, you can develop this awareness of the dreams into lucid dreaming, where you can really confront any of your fears or inhibitions and maybe even fly if you learn to become aware that you're dreaming while you're dreaming. Okay, so that's another possible insight. Grief, all of us are going to go through some kind of grief in our life, whether it's a breakup, losing a family member, losing anything. We go through grief. And the silver lining about songwriting is that, or I should say the silver lining about grief when you're a songwriter, is that you can use that. You have a tool to process this grief. And you can turn all the negative emotions and the sadness and the pain that you're going through into something that's really beautiful in a song. So that's why I say it's a silver lining, because I know when I'm going through a deep period of grief that, like, even though I'm going through it, it makes me feel better to write about it, to create songs about it. But it also oftentimes has the most emotional immediacy. And I can communicate best what it feels like to be me in that moment through the songs, much more effectively than when I'm just in kind of a status quo state and not in a deep state of suffering. Okay? So use your grief, use your sadness, use your intense emotions as fodder or kindling for your creative process. Okay? News headlines, you can use what's going on in the world, especially if you're pissed off about it or you're happy about it. News headlines are great. Bob Dylan definitely used those in his early career to come up with folk songs. So you should use them too. Nature, go out in nature, find inspiration there. And also spiritual texts. Spiritual texts are often wonderful sources for ideas for songs. I will open the Bible just a random page if I don't know where to go to next in a song, or if I'm missing anything like that, or the Dhammapada, any part of the Dharma. So use these spiritual texts as ideas. So really it's about catching the spark, and once you become attuned to the world of ideas, they're just going to start flooding in. So you want to capture as many as you can. And like I say, shut off that editorial mind that's evaluating each of these ideas as they come. Just gather the ideas. I have books and books and books of ideas, and most of them didn't turn into anything. But I'm really glad I had the few that did, because I wouldn't have had those if I wasn't focused on gathering ideas. Okay? You can also start with titles, like just make a list of possible titles for a song. And you can even steal titles from other artists. One exercise I like to do is to find albums that I've never heard, by artists I've never heard of, and look through their titles and possibly, take one of their titles as an inspiration for a song. I even have this project where I have, an imagined, I write a song how I imagine it is based on the title, and then I learn the song and cover it, and then 6 months to a year later I will do a remembered. So I'm trying to remember how the song went, and I rewrite the song in that way, and then I put the three together and kind of take the best parts to make an interesting song. So you can definitely use, and cannibalize other artists' work for your own ideas. You can start with an emotion, you can start with a scene, you can start with a single image, artwork. If there's a certain piece of art that is like, oh, that would be an incredible image to start a song with, you can grab a postcard of it or just save it off your computer, and that can be a springboard for your songs. So these are all just ways of gathering these ideas, and you really have to have a base of ideas, to pick from when you actually sit down to do your songwriting. And hopefully you're starting to develop that routine where you sit down for 5 or 10 minutes a day and work on one idea. And I really like to work on one idea at a time, so I make sure it fully develops. Otherwise, you have all these, little fragments and bits. But sometimes that's what it takes too. You just can't make progress on something till maybe weeks and weeks later. So whatever your process is, in this point in the process, we want to focus on gathering ideas and making sure you get lots of them. And of course, this phase never ends. You're always having your ears open to the possibility of a new song idea. So, well, best of luck with gathering ideas. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below in the comment section. Or if you want to message me directly, it's tyler@musemeasure.com. Best of luck with your songwriting, and I'll see you next time.